Meanwhile,
Are you curious where you can watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider and Sentai every week? Well, since there is no official release, you might have to resort to alternative methods. Personally, when I search for website to watch tokusatsu, my top priority is to safeguard my personal data. That's why I rely on Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of today's video. With Surfshark, your online safety and privacy is paramount, as it is effective at concealing your online activities through its VPN capabilities. By encrypting your internet traffic, that nobody can pry into your online endeavors or track your digital whereabouts. Additionally, Surfshark enables you to virtually explore the world with a tap, thanks to its ability to change your VPN address. By switching your location to anywhere in America, let's say, you can access at least over 10 Ultraman shows and movies, or explore other toku shows available on Tokusatsu. You can poke around at the Japanese premium Bandai page and discover a captivating array of expensive children's toys. I highly recommend getting Surfshark VPN today, as it comes with an extra 3 months. Simply click the link in the description, and if you are unsatisfied, rest assured there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why wait any longer? Take advantage of this fantastic offer and sign up now. It's an incredible opportunity for all of you, my fellow tokusatsu fans. Blazar episode 2 takes place pretty much straight after the first episode. Tone-wise, the episode was a bit lighter if we would compare it to the first episode, kind of squashing everybody's hope that this show would have the same tone as Nexus, which I've never gotten why people thought that, because Nexus, how much after Nexus we had 2 other shows, and I did talk about it. There's not going to be a show like Nexus ever. But if I would compare at least this episode's tone to pretty much what the show is going to be like, because it's very much, this is the first 2 episodes are kind of setting up the tones of at least the very important episode to the slightly more light-hearted episode. It feels like Ultraman Gaia and Mebius, shows that have a slightly lighter tone, but those shows would still have their serious moments when they really need to, which is not a bad thing to be compared to Gaia and Mebius. The episode itself surrounded Gento getting the role of the captain of SCARD from Retsuno Haru, the chief of staff of the GGF. And clearly, this dude is the main villain of the show, from the way he talks about Blazar and being unsure if he's there to help humanity. And also, like, omitting information from Gento and not even letting him pick his own damn team. This dude is clearly the villain. It's like the show doesn't even try to hide it away from us. And for Gento, I can say that he's an interesting chap, with him seen, at least to my understanding, M421 Blazar being the place of birth of Ultraman Blazar, and coining the name for the Ultra straight up next to Retsuno, where Retsuno doesn't even react to the entire ordeal and just like straight up, oh, that's his name now. And like we hear it on like news reports. It's almost like Retsuno pretty much knows that Gento is Blazar. And when Gento comes to pretty much meet all of the members of his team, he has this very awkward social interactions with them, which we didn't really saw in the first episode, and it makes sense, SCARD being a smaller group than his original team, would probably be easier to hide it, or just at first he would be socially awkward with them and slowly kind of like be fine with working with a smaller team and having this strange, but if you think about it, really good rule that like you can't call him or anybody else in the team by their last name. Like in Japan, it's kind of a thing. Like, I don't know why I'm explaining that to you. You're watching Tokusatsu, so like I think you should know that. But pretty much everybody should call him and everybody else all by their first name or by nickname, which I'm actually kind of interested to see if anyone is going to get a nickname. And it also makes sense because Gento wants to kind of get closer to them, and talking to someone and pretty much, you know, saying their first name in Japan it's kind of a thing of like, oh, we are very close. So it's like, oh, it's trying to make Scarred a family or a really close group of friends. For the rest of the team, Amy Abe, I think it's Abe, but I pretty much would call her Amy, is the first member that Gento meets. She's a lot more interesting than what I thought she would be, with her telling Gento that his team didn't hit Bazanga in the right spot. And when Gento tells her that pretty much like, hey, this is the spot I was told to hit, Amy tells him that, oh, like this is interesting because I was said to hit Bazanga there and my information is better. Shining a big old spotlight at the GGF spread their information in the weirdest way possible. Like, why are you telling one team to hit in the wrong spot? With that, lighting a big old spotlight on the show's theming about communication, which is going to be very interesting after this specific scene, seeing how, you know, the GGF is a weirdly organized organization. And it's kind of interesting that Retsuno did ask from her to come with Gento to meet the other members of the team. As a character, Amy looks like she's going to be really fun, and she has this really fun personality, and with her espionage abilities being so damn good that after she went to search stuff about the kaiju in the area, the old fisherman wanted her to join his team because she was that damn convincing. I hope it's not like a creepy old man and she was actually that convincing. Then there is Tereraki Nagura, the vice captain of Scarred. As a character, in my opinion, he's the most relatable character in the entire cast. He's awkward, intense social interactions, and when he got to interact with Retsuno, he looked like he's going to shit his damn drawers. And overall, he's not that confident in his abilities, and he downplays all of the stuff that he did in the Bazanga fight, which Gento needed to lift him up. Like, I really like him. I see myself a lot in that character, like straight off the bat. After like one episode of actually getting to see him interacting with other characters in a more kind of like social environment. I don't know, I just see myself a lot in him and I already like him. Then there is Anari Minami, being the karate girl. I really liked her interaction with Gento, with Anari being kind of a fangirl of him. And also I really like that she's not only like the hand-to-hand combat expert, but she's also really into tech too. She did plan to upgrade their van that has a window, so that means it's not a creepy van that was meant to kidnap children in, but in the end someone got to upgrade it first. And her interactions with Gento are really funny, specifically where Gento pretty much got the handle of their new weapons, and it's like, oh, like, wow, Gento, you learned very quickly how you did that. It was a handwritten manual. It's brilliant. Like, the two actors look like they had like really great chemistry with each other. It's great. And then there is Yasunabu Bando. Right now there isn't a lot to talk about him, for now at least, because he got introduced literally in the end of the episode. So like as a character, I don't really have a full-on grasp of him. Gento was looking for him for pretty much the entire episode, but because his files were never updated, it was never written that he got transferred to another team, being Scarred. Actually, he was the first member that actually got into Scarred, before Gento even. Again, the GGF is the worst organization in Ultraman, specifically with their paperwork. He's the mechanic of the team and the person responsible for the creation of Earth Garon. And he was the person that upgraded the Scarred van. Somehow, in like an hour. I understand he's supposed to be a genius, but he's not the Flash, so I don't know how quickly he got to do that. Probably he did it with more people, but shut up. The way that the show kind of presented it is like he did it alone. But right now as a character, the only thing that I can really say about him, he feels smug with the way he talks to the other members, the way that kind of like the face of the actor kind of comes in and say, oh, what, Gento? I got to Scarred before you. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how the rest of the team kind of levels him down to earth. And he looks like he has kind of a great relationship with Retsuno. So it's going to be interesting how he's going to react to the big revelation that he's the villain, because for goodness sake, he is clearly the villain. But yeah, like I don't really have a lot to talk about him specifically, because he's just a character that got introduced like literally in the last like 3 minutes of the episode. And now let's kind of talk about Earth Garon or Garon for a bit. It's totally the thing that Blazar is going to fight in the final episode, with it being able to collect information. So it's pretty damn obvious that that's going to happen, which I absolutely love. It's going to be very interesting if it's going to keep kind of the same appearance, or maybe some of the information is going to be collected to like a remodeled like Ultroid Zero from Ultraman Z, because 100% like they're going to reuse that suit. Like I don't see them not reusing that suit specifically for the final villain, or at least the final fight for Ultraman Blazar. Overall, I genuinely love this episode, and right now my hopes for the show are being met already, like with genuinely fun characters, interesting story beats that are being planted ahead in advance. The monster of the week was really fun, and I did like how much it kind of reminded me of a monster that Gaia would have as some sort of a lesson of the week about humanity polluting the earth, specifically the water, and the way that Blazar transformed his spear to make it into a fishing pole to get the monster out of the water is amazing. This show has so much personality, and I love it. So yeah, what you thought about episode 2 of Ultraman Blazar? Comment below, let me know. Thanks Surfshark for sponsoring my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you didn't. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.